urinary system. You have kidneys, you have ureters, you have the bladder, and then the single tube that leads to the bladder to go to the outside of the body. Again, I will have this much more shown on the cat, but that single tube that leads to the bladder is the urethra, and that is going to carry urine from the bladder to the outside of the body. So that single tube, you're going to have 2 ureters because you have 2 kidneys, okay, but 1 urethra. Okay, go ahead. These are going to be your lungs, okay, and there where everyone's like, where's all of these lobes? Well, there was one deep to the heart. You really couldn't see it when the heart was in there. Do I want to know all of the names of the lobes of the lungs? No, just that they're lungs, okay? So you have all of these here on the right and the left. Again, will I have this as a actual pin structure? No. But you guys had to cut a section of the lung off, right?
Yeah.
What were the 3 things that you had to find inside that section of the lung? Bronchioles, which are the actual smaller airway passages going down to the smallest cells of the lungs to exchange gases. Pulmonary arteries, which actually are blue. Why are they blue? Because they are carrying deoxygenated blood to the lungs to pick up oxygen. Pulmonary veins, which are the red, because they have the oxygen going back to the heart. So will I actually have a pin structure? We'll say, is this a pulmonary artery or vein? Nope, nope, I will not. But those are the questions I will ask, kind of questions that I will ask. No, I'm good, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay? All right? So then really in the chest cavity, what will be is a lot of the lungs, and then the heart itself will be individual hearts, like at a station. I'll just have a heart here and a heart there, and I'll have pins and things along those lines. Okay? So let's start with the concept of the heart. Again, if it's laying like this, that's the ventral side. So if I'm sitting here looking at it, it's opposite of what you guys actually have. This is the right side. This is the left side. Okay? So let's go through the heart. All the first off, the chambers. Right atria, much larger than the left atria. It's collecting all deoxygenated blood from the body. Okay? Right ventricle over here. Do you really see this division of that until you open up? No, but if I have a pin over here, it's on the right ventricle. Left atria, very small compared to the right atria. Okay? Left ventricle. Questions I'll ask. What side of the heart is carrying oxygenated blood? Left side. Which side of the heart is carrying deoxygenated blood? Right side. Okay, those are the kind of questions I'll ask. So now let's go through how everything goes. And it's not going to be like in this order, like on the test, but I'll ask. All deoxygenated blood enters which chamber of the heart? Right atria. Okay? So, all deoxygenated blood is coming back to the heart by way of the superior vena cava above the heart and the inferior vena cava below it. Both of these are going to dump into the right atria. From the right atria, it's going to go down to the right ventricle. See, it's all blue on the inside. Deoxygenated. From the right ventricle is going to pump blood out, and the only place you're going to see this is on the back side of the heart, the dorsal side, okay, through what we call the pulmonary arteries. Right here is a pulmonary artery. So like if I keep doing this, this is the trunk, and I have a right pulmonary artery, and there's the left pulmonary artery. Those are going out to the lungs to pick up oxygen. The only arteries to carry deoxygenated blood are pulmonary arteries. In the lungs, it is picking up oxygen. From the lungs coming back to the heart, it's coming back by way of pulmonary veins. Right here. Here's the right pulmonary vein. Here is the left pulmonary vein. If I would keep going, and I'm going to do this, look what I'm picking up with my probe. The left atria. So all oxygenated blood from the lungs is dumping back from the pulmonary veins into the left atria, right here. down into the left ventricle, which you can see on the inside is all right or red color because it's oxygenated blood. Okay? Out of the right ventricle by way of, and this is really nice because most of you guys did not have this because there was still a lot of pericardium, by way of the aorta. This is the aorta right here. Okay? This would actually continue on. It's going to make like a backwards J, and it goes to the descending aorta behind the heart. I'm going to have to find another heart. The first branch off of the heart is the brachiocephalic. So I will have a heart with a pin sticking off that first branch. Say, what branch of vessel is this? And you'll say the brachiocephalic, because then it's going to branch off into all of the vessels, the carotid and the subclavian, to go above the heart. I'll find another heart for you to show you that. Okay? So I'm just going to tell you there will be a good number of questions about the heart and the flow of blood into and out of the heart and what vessels are carrying oxygenated and deoxygenated and blood. That's why I just spent a lot of time going over that. Okay? I will get another cat to see it anymore. Remember I said that there was this thymus gland that sat on top of the vessels. Now, let's talk vessels. Okay, so let's do veins first. So your superior vena cava, inferior vena cava really is going to be dealing with the heart itself because it's pretty much non-existent when I come up here, especially the superior vena cava. Okay, now, when we go from the superior vena cava, again, this is still thymus gland that we just didn't cut all the way off. Can we see now what's going on? Here's what's happening. This is going to be the end of the superior vena cava, and then as you branch off, do you see that? That's what we would call the brachiocephalic or the innominate right there. And again, it's blue, it's going to be a vein, right? And that's going to be until you branch off, and it kind of tore, but again, so the innominate's not very big. It's like the two stems of a Y. All right? Then what ends up happening is, you see how this is tore off right here? That's going to lead, and I will have it much better in another cat, that's going to lead to the subclavian, which is going to go out to the arm. See how this is continuing out to the arm right here, even though it's torn. Okay? Then this is going to lead to your jugular right here. I'm not going to worry about internal and external jugular. I will just have a pin in this, and if it's blue, you're going to say that's the jugular. You with me on that?
Yep.
Okay. So then that leads up to the jugular. When we look at, those are the main ones that I want you to know for up above. But you actually, and again, you didn't do a very good job, and that's okay, but if I will be here tonight doing this. See how the vessels are going out here into the arm? So when we look at it, the subclavian is going to be this branch as soon as it branches off from the brachiocephalic or the innominate. Going out further, then do you see how this kind of tore away there, and there's one that goes up? After that, then that's going to be the axillary, and then as it comes out here, again, I will have to tear a lot of it off, but if it comes out here to the arm, that's going to be the brachial, and that's all veins. So you have superior vena cava, innominate, or brachiocephalic. Subclavian coming off here until it tears off. Then the subclavian just turns into the axillary. The axillary coming out here all the way into the arm is the brachial. That is the inferior vena cava. Very large. Okay, and then you're going to have all these branches off of the inferior vena cava. So inferior, that's below the heart. Not only can I see it up here in the thoracic area, but I'm also seeing it down here in the abdominal area. Large, large, large vessel. Blue, If it's right in the middle, inferior vena cava.
So those are veins.
Those are veins.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Then, and Aaron and Tess were in yesterday. So, this was an issue. And it's very hard to find. But if you notice, I've told you guys that veins are superficial to arteries. That is true until you get all the way down here, right here. And then if you look, the artery flip-flops and goes on top of the vein. And so the iliacs are very difficult to find because of that.